Hey everyone, this is Jackie. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so we are going to do a love reading here for the sign of Aries. So anyone with an Aries sun, moon, rising, or Venus are the major placements. And then, anyone with a placement with Aries in their chart may benefit from this reading as well. So welcome to all. If your intuition brought you here, I just want you to know that all of my readings are timeless. I set the intention for them to be timeless. So whenever this reading found you, there most likely is a message here for you. Wonderful. So, just take what resonates, leave the rest. All right. So we're going to start with some oracles here and see the tone or the gist of what's going on here and what spirit has to tell you, what advice maybe about your life. Let's see here. I had a few cards fall out. Spirit, what do you have to tell us for Aries? Okay. So I like to start with 3 cards, but sometimes more or less come out. Okay, so first card out, we have Valiant Courage. Take action with passion. Okay. Second card, Gates of Triumph. Success expands in your life. And the third card, Rainbow Blessings. Blessings are showering in your life. All right. So basically, Spirit is just reminding you here that, if you're, contemplating something, if you're thinking about taking action about something in your life here, whether it does have to do with, a love situation, or whether it's more like with a job or, something else in your life that you're passionate about and that's in your heart, take action with passion. If you're procrastinating in any way, Spirit is wanting you to know that, you should take action on this, but do it in a passionate way. Because if you do that, you're standing here basically on the precipice here of triumph. So you're standing at the gates, and on the other side of your procrastination and maybe your stagnant life that you possibly have right now, which, take that part as it resonates. But a lot of people are feeling that way. On the other side is success. On the other side of fear is success. Because you are meant to have blessings in your life. So, always be grateful for what you have, but know that the universe still wants to bless you in so many ways. So, the more you're grateful, the more the universe is likely to shower you with more blessings. All right. So let's start with what's the vibe and see what's going on here in love and your person and the person on your mind. See what kind of messages might come out. I didn't really have anything that first round. What do you need to tell us, Spirit, for Aries? Okay. So the first card that came out is Two-Face. So someone's living a double life here. And, take these roles and flip them and switch them as needed, because roles can be reversed. I have a feeling the collective, you're here watching tarot. Most people that do that, are pretty elevated, and, you're tapping into your higher self here. So, you're healing and you're looking for guidance here. So most likely this is your person, or it's a person that your person is dealing with. Take that as it resonates. But someone's living a double life here. Someone could be, had backstabbed you. Someone maybe had cheated on you. But someone's obviously living this double life here, and maybe kept things from you and didn't tell you the whole truth here of what's going on, because lust was at play here. So, whether they felt that their connection with you was more lust and not actual love, or maybe, if you were with this person and, they put you in a third party somehow, maybe they felt like this other person was lust for them. but there was lust involved, and somehow they, you know, backstabbed you here, or, you know, somebody. But it looks like Spirit wants you to just try to relax and have as much fun as you can. Try to put some space in between you and the situation. You can get away, and maybe not think about things as much. Spirit is kind of, you know, wanting you to do that, just because you've most likely been pretty stressed out about this situation. And, you know, Spirit just wants you to ground yourself here and, you know, just try to relax and maybe go out with friends, things like that, because it looks like, you know, hopefully this is not you, but your person is actually feeling hopeless right now. So, you know, take this all as it resonates. I don't like this word down here. I almost want to cross that out because I don't like that. Nobody should ever feel that way about a person. Nobody should ever feel that way about a relationship, a job, anything like that. I get it, you know, feeling hopeless or maybe loss of a, you know, a person, a job, a connection, maybe being depressed even, but to the point of this word right here, I just don't, that is not good. That is not healthy. You know, nothing in life should make you feel that way. So yeah, especially another person, you know, things that might seem hopeless, most likely are they just there to teach you a lesson. You know, there are people who are with us for a reason, a season, you know, or for life. So, you know, even though sometimes these people feel like they should be in our lives forever, sometimes they're just there to teach us lessons. But your person does know that there's time that's in the balance here. So, you know, they've been delaying things. They've been procrastinating. They've been like fake busy here, trying to figure out what to do. And like I said, hopefully this is not you. If it is you, definitely you need to get away. You need to try to relax and have fun. Okay? Because you are not defined by your past or your relationships. Please remember that. Spirit does want to also remind you to try to smell the roses here. Try to slow down, get some time for yourself, maybe get a massage, a pedicure, get out in nature, go on a vacation, just take, you know, a day away even. If you need to call out of work and, you know, use some PTO time, you know, try to do that and try to, you know, catch your head a little bit and just try to relax relax as much as possible. Because it looks like you're exhausted. It looks like both people in this situation are probably exhausted and you're feeling burnt out. Your person definitely is feeling burnt out. I can tell you that for a fact. If you were wondering, then yes, your person is feeling burnt out. But I'm sure that you have been burdened with this as well. So, yeah. Because it looks like, you know, somebody's involving them in going out and having fun here. So I don't know if maybe if that's probably your person trying to figure out what's, you know, going on here. I mean, maybe that's part of their double life here. You know, maybe they're used to just having superficial relationships and, you know, going out and having fun all the time. Maybe they've got addictions they're dealing with. But yeah, and they just didn't realize that this was a true relationship because they did not realize that you were the divine feminine here. Now, whether you're a male or female does not matter. Whatever gender you identify with, it does not matter in tarot. We all have divine masculine and feminine energies inside of us. So when you were with this person, all you did was show them love. You loved on this person as much as you could. You showed them gentleness and nurturing, just like it says on the card here. You showed them what the feminine energy is all about. And at first, like I said, they thought this was lust. But I think now they're realizing, yeah, because, you know, they're tense. You're probably stressed out too, possibly with the situation and what you've dealt with. But, you know, they're stressed out. They're worried. I think they realize now what they're missing and how much they love you and what their true feelings were for you here. Because it looks to me like, you know, it's a separation of some kind. But Spirit, what do you have to tell us for Aries? We're going to get into tarot here and see what else comes out. Oh goodness, okay. All right. So first card out is Three of Cups. That could be either a third party. It could also be, you know, coming like a celebration. So it could go either way. We have to see what goes on here. We also have the Seven of Cups that came out. So yeah, so the Seven of Cups is about, you know, abundance, but it's also about, it can be confusion. It can be confusion, overwhelmed by options, things like that. So choices, basically. So, you know, I think what your person is feeling here is that, you know, I think that there were third parties involved here. They might have made you a third party, but I believe that also, you know, and that might be part of what they're two-faced here about, is that, you know, they had a third party, whether it's a work situation, whether it's family, it could be another person, like a love relationship. It could be a lot of things. It's basically, a third party is basically anything except you, anything but you. So I'm kind of seeing this in this situation as more of a third party. And I feel like that's what they were two-faced about here. They kept a lot of things from you. I feel like they were fake busy a lot of times. They maybe breadcrumbed you a little bit here, or maybe a lot. But now they realize that time is not on their side, because they know you most likely left, or you're leaving, and you know, they're feeling hopeless about it now because they know that you have options. And I think in the beginning, they thought that they wanted to keep their options because, you know, they were in this lustful energy here. And I think that that's what they're used to. They're used to this nightlife, partying, you know, way of life here, where they just lust after people and they just have superficial relationships. And, you know, it stressed not only you out, but I think it started stressing them out, especially when they realized that you were the real thing. And they know now that you're going to have options yourself. Now that you know, realize that they might not be able to give you what you want and need from this relationship. So, all right. So the thing is that you're the sun to them. You know, you're the bright spot of their life. And, you know, they don't want to miss out on that. So they're going to probably, you know, if you're in separation, they're going to come back here as the Knight of Wands, which, you know, the Knight of Wands, if you've read, you know, heard me do my readings before, you know, the Knight of Wands is very passionate. You know, the Knight of Wands comes in quickly, has a lot of energy, determination, but they can be a player. This is the player card. Yes, they're charismatic. It goes along with, I hate to say, this going out all the time atmosphere, this lustful energy. They go hand in hand. That's like, you know, Devil and Knight of Wands to me kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So when they, you know, when these energies come out together in one reading, that's the way I'm reading it, is that your person is more in that player type energy. And I don't really honestly see them changed. I don't see your person changed or changing. You know, yeah, they might feel like things are hopeless, but they're holding on to you here. They want to hold on. This is the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, they want to hold on. They don't want to let you go, because I think now that you showed them what real love is, you know, they don't want to let that go. What is this person's intentions for the collective, Spirit? We'll see what comes out here. Because I don't really see that this person has changed or is changing. Yeah, they're stressed out. They're feeling hopeless about the situation. Like I said, maybe you are too, but I don't really see see them changing. Their intentions are the star. I mean, you know, you are the star to them. You are hope for a new life, or they do have hope in this situation. What else are with their intentions, Spirit? But I mean, just having hope, you know, it's not enough. We'll see what else comes out here. Yeah, you know, I feel like they're feeling possessive of you. So I'm really surprised that the devil hasn't come out yet. Oh, let's see. What else for their intentions, Spirit? We have the Two of Wands. So they don't know. They're still deciding. They have no idea what they want to do. They're in the decision-making process. So, I mean, you could take that either way. They do see you as the star. What else is there for their intention, Spirit? We'll get one more card and see what else they might be feeling as far as intention-wise, because I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this person and what their intentions are. Well, the Fool did come out. So they do want a new beginning here. Anything else, Spirit? Let's see here. What else for their intentions, Spirit? The King of Swords. So, you know, they're going to come in, with, you know, some information here. They're going to come in with, possibly some, you know, logic, communication, you know, not really thinking with their heart, thinking more with their head, basically. You know, the King of Swords can also be charming and seductive also. So, unfortunately, I would take this, you know, that part as it resonates. I'm not really getting the most clear answer here as far as their intentions, in my opinion, because it's kind of opposite to what some of these other cards are indicating. Yeah. So I think, you know, I am feeling intuitively that this person saw what you were able to give them as far as, you know, unconditional love here, and they don't want to let that go. They're feeling very possessive of it. They do want a new start here with you, but I don't see anything that shows me that they've changed at all. I don't see anything that shows me you know, they do see your value now that you left, but I don't see things changing here. So you two might be emotionally or physically distant from each other. That might be one issue. Let's see what else comes out on here. They're watching you. They're spying to see what you're up to and what you have going on, if you're with somebody new. And the red flags that you ignore now may come back to bite you later. So whatever red flags you might be seeing in this relationship might come back to bite you. So always, you know, use your intuition here, and, you know, try to see things both with your heart and with your head. I mean, it looks like your person, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of major arcana here, but, you know, we've got basically, I think we have all the signs here. And so, you know, it could be anyone that you're dealing with. I don't always sign up for, you know, it could most likely be these signs, because half the time, you know, when I watch readings, I resonate with the reading, but, you know, my person's sign or my sign isn't even in there. So, take that part with a grain of salt and as it resonates. Let's see. We're going to get a few island wellness and see what else might be going on here. If anything comes out. But and usually something comes out here, but nothing is really coming out. Let's see. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so I did get a few cards that came out. A lot of times it just kind of comes and goes. Sometimes I only get a few cards, sometimes I get a lot. But we have the Grim Reaper saying the relationship is over. If you've walked away, you really don't want another chance. So Spirit wants you to just grow and learn from this and transform your life. Take action if you need to leave this situation because the relationship is over, because success is on the other side. Okay. Your person does need more time. They need a lot of time to heal. So, we had this time card come out as well. Maybe they're not ready to heal. They might not be ready to do any of this. They could have been, you could have been the chaser in this relationship here. If you have any kind of fear of abandonment issues, then that's something that you'll also need to heal and kind of go within. You need to hermit a little bit here and try to do some inner work. And that, goes along with getting out in nature, taking some you time. But either this person or someone else does like you. Maybe you're flirting with somebody else at work or somebody else in your vicinity that maybe wants to date you. But Spirit does want you to know that there are other fish in the sea here. So, if you're feeling like it's not necessarily, this person, if you're not really feeling it with this person, then, definitely keep your options open because, this person did keep things from you. Looks like they did kind of put you in some kind of third party situation. And whether you have left already or are going to be leaving, Spirit does want you to know that, there is success here on the other side for you. And that you really do need to just grow and try to heal from this situation the best that you can. All right, we're gonna get some signs here. Like I said, all the signs are out here. We have water, fire, air, and earth out here. So it could basically be any sign, but let's see. All right, but some of the signs that you might be dealing with, oh gosh, we have several of these. So there's like triple confirmation here for Taurus. So you might be dealing with a Taurus, Scorpio, another Aries, Gemini, and Sagittarius. So those are the main ones that came out, whether that's their you or your person's, well, actually you're Aries, but whether you have any of these in your chart or whether your person does somewhere in their chart, those could be some of the signs that you're dealing with here. Okay. All right. So, Aries, I hope that this helps. I hope this reading helps you. If you would, please consider subscribing to my channel. We'd love to have you as part of the family. You'll always be notified of my readings. I do try to do these as well as, Twin Flame, and, I'm going to start doing pick a card readings as well. So, we'd love to have you as part of the family, but I hope that you all are well. And until the next time, namaste, my friends.